Switching gears a little bit, who was your personal musical inspiration?
Well, I told you I play guitar, and I was always into guitar. I used to love Les Paul, the way Les Paul played. Brilliant guitarist, and he was an innovator of a lot of things. You know, he invented the echo chamber and everything else. I mean, he was great. The reverb units for guitar. He was just a wonderful musician and talent and genius. And I kind of grew up liking him. And then later on, I switched to jazz. I became a jazz enthusiast. I loved jazz music, and kind of emulated Joe Pass and which is Howard Roberts and some of the great guitarists from that. Wes Montgomery. I love those guys, and I love playing like that. You know, and I kind of stole a lot of their ideas. And you know, later on, after I left the Echoes, you know, for a while, we kind of switched over. We had a Hammond B3 organ and a saxophone and guitar myself and good drums, and we did a lot of Jimmy Smith. I don't know if you're familiar with him, great jazz organist. We did a lot of his songs, and kind of, you know, I love that stuff. I love playing it. It's fun.
Well, and I love a lot of music from, you know, pretty much the 30s, 40s, and 50s. You go, you know, Ink Spots and big bands and stuff like that, all the way up to the rock and roll.
Yeah, the big bands. I mean, my favorite male singer. I think he's a great singer, very underrated. But I think Jack Jones is marvelous. I love the way Jack Jones sings. I think he's got a great voice. Of course, Sinatra and Tony Bennett. I love all the standards, and some great female vocalists as well. You know, so I love all kind of music. I'm not partial. It's just one kind of music I don't like because I don't consider music rap. I can't stand that stuff. I don't think it's music. It's just a poetry set to drum beats, you know.
Yeah, there actually has to be singing involved for it to be music.
Yeah, exactly.
And Joe, speaking of singing, what is the favorite song that you have that the group performs, and why?
Well, you know, our biggest hit was "Love Is a Money Splendor Thing." Three Coins in the Fountain was good. I guess my favorite, believe it or not, I love Mr. Sandman. It's a fun song to sing, and that was a pretty big hit. In fact, it was featured in the movie Back to the Future. I mean, there was two versions, one by the Chordettes and one by the Four Aces. Chordettes had a bigger hit on it, but the new movie Back to the Future, they choose to use our version of it in it. So it was kind of nice to hear that. And but I guess my favorite is "Stranger in Paradise." I don't know if you remember "Take My Hand, I'm a Stranger in Paradise." Great song, great song.
What's your favorite pastime with the group?
You mean what we do when we're not performing?
Yeah, or a memorable event from a concert or something like that.
Well, I really don't have any favorites. I mean, we perform with a lot of other groups. Like we'll do package shows with the Four Lads and the Four Freshmen. Occasionally we'll work with the Diamonds. And I guess the thing is the camaraderie after the show is over. We're just hanging around telling jokes in the dressing room with the other groups and, you know, just busting each other's chops, and we just have a lot of fun doing it. You know, it's we did a tour back in the '80s. We did a bus tour. We covered for 7 weeks. We were on a bus doing one nights throughout the country. We started out in Washington, Minnesota, Chicago, you name it. We were there, Florida. We all these one night and on the bus was a band. We had musicians from New York. There was about a 12-piece band. It was a pretty big bus, and we had the Four Freshmen were on that bus, and the Four Lads, and ourselves. And I'll tell you, it was a blast. I mean, I dreaded doing it. I said, oh, geez, all these one. But, you know, we didn't mind the bus rides at all because most of the time after the shows, we you know, go to the neighboring water hole and have a few drinks, so go to bed, we unwind a little bit, and we slept all day on the bus. So we get on the bus and you know, wake up to stop at a restroom or something and sleep most of the time on the bus or just have a fun on the bus. The trips went by so fast, so you didn't even feel that you were driving all those distances. Well, we weren't. The bus driver was, but had the same bus driver for the whole tour, and he became part of the fun thing. You know, he was a great guy, and that to me that was fun. It was just like the old days when they barnstormed. I guess you might call it that. You know.
And you guys are still performing?
Oh yeah. In fact, we're leaving Friday. We have an engagement in Florida, a one-nighter in Florida, and then we have another one on the 1st in Florida, February 1st. Then we're doing a tour with Tex Beneke and the Glenn Miller Orchestra. We open in McCallum Center in Palm Springs, California. Then we go to Modesto and Livermore, and then we wind up in Chicago. We do a one-night thing in Chicago, and then we'll be home for a while. And in April, we're extremely busy. We have, I think, 12 one-night concerts in 13 days. That's a lot of moving around, but yeah, we're as I'll tell you what. Like I said, The shows have been going over great. The response has been marvelous. The shows like in Chicago are completely sold out. Friends of mine wanted tickets. I couldn't even get them tickets because there's just no room. So, yeah, we're doing very well.
And Joe, on the Four Aces website, it shows that you guys have some concerts coming up. Where in recent history or throughout history have you guys been?
Yeah, we have been all over the country. We perform overseas quite a bit. We did a tour in the Philippines and Manila, performed at the Araneta Coliseum where they had the Frazier Ali fight many years ago. I guess another memorable trip was we flew nonstop from Atlanta, Georgia, to Cape Town, South Africa. We got on a cruise ship and went to Rio de Janeiro. We've been to Viña del Mar, Chile, Kuala Lumpur, Thailand, you name it, we've been there. So I've got a lot of mileage under my belt, you know.
So what's the international calling for this older music?
Well, lately it hasn't been. It's slowed down, and the international market has slowed down. But I'm going to say from 1980 to about 1995, we did a lot of overseas work. Toured Japan. We did a thing all through Japan, from Tokyo to Osaka, Nagasaki. I mean, we did the whole thing in Japan. It went a 2-week tour. It was marvelous. Very receptive audiences, and it was great, you know. But that's kind of drying up. We haven't been overseas, I'm going to say, in the last 4 or 5 years, which is okay with me. I kind of like this country. You know, I don't like traveling anymore. I've done it so long. I'm tired of living out of suitcases and going through airports and things. I mean, I do it, but you know, that's the hardest part of our job is the traveling. The actual performing part is a piece of cake, you know.
You guys have a website?
Yes, we do. thefouраces.org, O-R-G.
Well, that is Joe Gilio from the Four Aces. And Joe, thank you for joining me today.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. You did a marvelous job, and good luck with the station you're doing and the interviews you're doing, and keep doing your good work. It keeps our music alive, and we appreciate that.
I sure will, Joe, and you can always catch a couple other of the interviews that I've done with several other artists from the 50s and some newer ones as well on Out of the Attic's YouTube page. You can also check out Out of the Attic on Facebook.